Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new 2011 San Diego Comic-Con MattyCollector.com exclusive Seen in a Suitcase Ghostbusters Gozer the Destroyer. Now, if you are a fan of Ghostbusters, you know who Gozer the Destroyer is and how Gozer came to attack and end the lives of everybody at the end of the Ghostbusters movie. And Gozer chose a form that was decided upon by whatever the Ghostbusters would think. And of course, Ray, being the wonderful person he is, thought of the good, lovable, Stave Puft Marshmallow Man. So Gozer chose Marshmallow Man as the destroyer of mankind. And this is the box. And this box itself, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen. I have to do it on my kitchen table because this thing is absolutely massive. I don't know if you can get an idea about how big this thing truly is. One thing that's really cool is I love the fact that the suitcase comes with this nice little handle, and it has a little fake locking gimmick that kind of shows how it is, and then you flip around here on the back and it's the exact same thing. But I really like this packaging. It's very nice. It's massive. It's huge. This is quite possibly the biggest thing that I have ever reviewed. I don't even know. I don't even know. But let me get the good old Gozer the Destroyer out of its package here and see exactly what we have. Now, first off, I want to apologize to you guys. Many of you know me as someone who prides himself on the quality of video that I put out. I work very hard at the lighting and the just overall production value. But this thing is so, I cannot use my normal review setup that I have. It's absolutely impossible. Now, when you get them opened and actually out of the box, you notice that they have an extra little bit of foam padding here taped on the inside of the packaging. Now, the only real reason I can think of that's there is to prevent the actual Stave Puft Marshmallow Man from rubbing against the cardboard here on the inside of the box. That seems to be there to kind of protect the actual figure, and that's a very nice touch. Definitely worthy of being an adult collectible packaging. This guy, just without a shadow of a doubt, is beyond massive. Now, I scoured my entire house looking for my tape measure to measure this guy. I think he's listed between like 20 and 22 inches tall, but I can't find my tape measure, so I can't really actually get an accurate reading for how tall he actually is. But to give you some kind of a scale, here he is next to the Diamond Select Stave Puft Marshmallow Man bank that if you were to walk into Toys R Us right now, you could probably actually find and buy it. This Stave Puft is listed at about 8 inches tall, while the Ghostbuster figures themselves are listed at 6 inches tall. And as you can see, that is huge. It's still not approximate scale, but this guy is massive and hugely impressive. Now, I already can tell that there are going to be a few problems that this figure is going to have. One of the biggest being obviously the sheer size of the entire diorama. People do not have the space to display this. But that leads into another problem that this figure is going to have. If you're a collector, you know about yellowing. This guy is all white everywhere on this figure. You are going to have to worry about yellowing on him, I guarantee you. But because of that, I mean, you have this nice display piece, so you can just keep it right back in the box, which would shield it from the sun, but then again, forces you to have to use the entire display piece, which people aren't really going to be able to do. Now, in terms of the figure itself, he does have some nice articulation. I mean, his arms just rotate up like that. They do that on both sides. His head will rotate, and his legs will rotate. And he actually does stand very nicely. I mean, he stands. You can position his legs, and he can fall, obviously. So keeping the legs in the proper position will keep him a whole lot more balanced. The neat thing is he is soft and squishy. I mean, he is squishy all the way through. His arms a little bit more so. This is a hollow torso, but it's still squishy. And that's even kind of neat. That's soft. You know, his face has all that squish on it. Now, one thing that I noticed in Pixel Dan's video review, he talked about how the limbs come off for easy storage. Seriously? Easy storage? At first, that was one huge problem that I was going to have with this set. Or this figure in particular. Because he literally took it and he's like, oh yeah, his leg rotates, and then his leg straight up popped off in his review. I'm very happy to report that, at least on mine, these are secured in there fairly nicely. They have a little ridge around the inside here, and if you take a look, it just pops right in. And as you can see, it's all hollow inside there. This does lock in very nicely. I think it was this leg he actually had a problem with. And these legs are in there very good. Like, I can't get it out right now. I mean, I did actually get it out, but that's one thing I'm very, very happy to report. Doesn't seem to be a common problem with this figure. The other problem is you can see, based on the material that's used to make him, you can see there's going to be some wrinkling on the figure itself. There's some on his hat. You saw some there on his face. Spinning around here on the back. Doesn't look too bad here on, well, there's his big old butt. It doesn't look too terribly bad, just overall, but you can see that the face is going to have it, the head's going to have it, the arms potentially could develop it, and maybe even on the legs, but I don't see anything else anywhere else, and that's just cool. I do really like it. There's a little bit here on the blue portion of his little hat. The other thing that Dan kind of mentioned as a negative was that there was some white powdery substance kind of here on the back section. All I had to do was take a little bit of a washcloth and I just wiped it off real quick and it went away. So that's not too bad of a problem, and really I don't think it's much of a negative in itself. If you are a fan of Ghostbusters, this is almost an absolute must-have for your collection. There are some problems that you're going to have to be aware of, such as the potential wrinkling, potential yellowing of the figure, and the sheer size of the display piece if you choose to display the entire diorama. But even if you don't, as you can see, the figure by itself is massive. The fact that Pixel Dan got a version that has very loose attached limbs makes that also something that you should be concerned about. The fact that I got lucky isn't necessarily indicative of how your figure might be. Now, this figure will be available on MattyCollector.com, and I believe the price is going to be $70. As I said, this is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version, and $70 might put some people off to this, especially when you consider how big it is and the shipping that goes along with it. This is definitely going to be for hardcore Ghostbuster fans, and since I'm clearly one of those, I clearly am thrilled and excited to have a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in this size. This could be a very, very cool display piece, or a gigantic train wreck. The unfortunate thing is, really, only time will tell. So if you're willing to take the $70 gamble and pick this up, I do actually recommend it. But again, only for really hardcore Ghostbuster collectors. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.